Revalidation is the process that all nurses and midwives in the UK and nursing associates in England need to follow in order to maintain their registration with the Nursing and Midwifery Council, which is the regulatory body for this profession. If you're a new nurse in the UK and overseas or international nurse in the UK, or your revalidation will soon be due, this video is for you. You probably might have been on NMC website to read through what revalidation is, and you're still confused, you're scared, you are stressed out basically, and wonder what this process will be all about and what it will look like. Well, I've been through all that, and that is why in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my experience as an international nurse in the United Kingdom who got registered with the NMC in 2019 and got revalidated to continue practicing nursing in the United Kingdom in 2022. The first thing that you need to know is that NMC revalidation for nurses and midwives takes place every 3 years. And the purpose of this is to ensure that you are practicing safely and effectively, and it also gives you an avenue to actually reflect on your practice in the past few years. NMC revalidation website should be your first point of contact when you're trying to revalidate. And I can attest to it that the website is so rich. So rich. They have made it so simple for you with a lot of explanation in blog posts and also in video content. You even have examples of revalidation that has been done by other people that you can use as a template for your own revalidation. So what are the requirements that you need to get yourself revalidated by the NMC? The first one is 450 practice hours. So if you're a nurse or midwife, you're expected to be able to provide 450 hours of practice in the past 3 years. However, if you hold the qualification of a nurse and midwife, that's double qualification, so your practice hours is also going to double. So that means you need 900 hours of practice. The second thing that you need is 35 hours of CPD, including 20 hours of participatory learning. So this includes the seminars, the trainings, the events that you go to or that you attend in your profession as a nurse or as a midwife. So all those trainings that you get in your place of work, all those discussions that you have with your colleagues at work, those are what will form your CPD and your participatory learning. Next thing that you need is 5 pieces of practice related feedback. What this means is that you need to have at least 5 feedbacks about your practice as a nurse or as a midwife. So feedbacks may include emails that you've gotten from colleagues or your managers about how you are doing, whether positive or negative. So these feedbacks does not have to be positive all through. It can be negative, so that you'll be able to even use it in your reflective account as something that you need to work on. So basically you need 5 pieces of feedbacks. It can be from your colleagues, it can be from relative of a patient, it can be from patients, it can even be thank you cards that is sent to staff on your ward, or a personal email that you receive from somebody about your practice as a nurse or a midwife.
So what you can do is to design something like this. It's like a feedback form to give to colleagues, your manager, people you work with generally, so that they can give feedback about your nursing practice. You can give it to relatives also. Thanks to my mentor, I got this idea from her. Just let them know that you are due for revalidation with the NMC and you need their genuine feedback about your nursing practice. You can grab a copy of this template for free by clicking on the first link in the description box below and also in the comment section.
Another requirement is 5 written reflective accounts. So this means that you'll have to sit down and write 5 reflective accounts about your practice in the past 3 years. And as it implies, it's a reflective account. So it doesn't have to be positive. It can also be negative. The purpose and the aim is for you to actually be able to reflect on the event, the series of events that have happened in the course of your practice as a nurse or as a midwife. Another requirement is the health and character declaration. You also need a professional indemnity arrangement. This is usually provided by your employer in your place of work. So if you work in the NHS, you automatically have that, because I am sure that all NHS hospitals have a professional indemnity arrangement for all their staff. If you're not working with the NHS, you need to confirm with your employer, or from your contract you'll be able to know and see if you've got a professional indemnity arrangement. If you've not got, then that means that you need to seek the advice of a solicitor, I think, or just find a way to get yourself one. And the last requirement is confirmation. This confirmation needs to be done by another person. Usually a manager will confirm that these evidences that you have provided are true, and you've had a discussion about this before you finally submit your revalidation application online. All the relevant links I'm going to be leaving in the description box below. Once you log into your NMC account, few months to few weeks before your revalidation is due, you will get a notification on your NMC online account and also as an email. They will actually remind you that your revalidation is due at this date and you need to start getting yourself prepared. In fact, you can submit your revalidation application about 3 weeks to 4 weeks before your due date. One thing that I have learned and is advisable is that you do not wait until the year or few months to your revalidation before you start gathering all these things together. I mean, right now you know what the requirement is. All you need to do is start keeping tabs of events that happen during your practice as a nurse or a midwife. So you want to keep a portfolio of these events, have a file or a diary in which you write the events and circumstances that happen during your practice, and you can actually consider some of these for your reflective writing. It's also important to keep track of the CPD trainings that you have. Every training that you go for in your organization, whether or not you have a certificate for it, make sure that you keep track of it in your diary, in your portfolio. Keep track of it, keep track of the date, how many hours it took you, was there participatory learning, that is, were there questions being answered, were there discussions, just have a record of these things so that by the time your revalidation comes near, it is easy for you to just open these files up and be able to pick the things that you need.
So now that you have all your documents together, you need to log into your NMC online account and request for an extension if you need it. If not, then you need to go ahead and apply. Now this is a 15-step application process, and I'll just take you through mine, how I submitted my own application. I hope you find it helpful. Let me know if you have any question or comment in the comment section. after this, you are going to receive a confirmation email from the NMC. Let me also state that your application is not complete until your yearly registration fee is paid. So it's better that you put it on a direct debit so that at the right time NMC just removes it and then your registration will be updated. So if it is not on direct debit, you need to pay immediately or when due, and the amount of money you are going to pay depends on whether you are paying your yearly registration fee once or quarterly.